Yae Miko? It is always such an honor to see you. But we need to talk about our problems. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. But of course you're going to make me say it because you love making people sweat a little bit, so I'll play along. Oh, by all means, please. Take a seat. You can ask some of the shrine maidens to bring us tea if you want. We can make a day of it. We'll have a conversation. Trust me. So, where should I begin? I think you know exactly what the issue is already, so I can start from the beginning. I can pull back a little bit. You see, I believe in creative freedom, certainly. I'll be the first to admit that maybe I don't think that the majority of the novels published by the Yae publishing house are exactly fine literature, but I think you know that. Oh, you do? You do think they're fine literature? They're not exactly high art. Doesn't really take a creative genius to write things like the time I was reincarnated as a high school girl who was also a vampire. But it's entertaining. It's what the people want. And in the end, if everybody's entertained, then, what does it really matter? A publishing house is in the business of making money, and so as long as the books you publish are selling, then there's no real pressure on the Yae publishing house to publish books that are literary masterpieces. But to make a long story short, I don't normally care about what your label does or doesn't publish, but I think we can both agree that this new book, this one right here, yes, I think that we can both agree that this new book maybe steps over a few lines. Yes. You thought. You thought I might say that. It's got a beautiful cover, beautiful illustrations, paper quality is quite good. But the contents, Guji, did you really think that this wasn't going to be an issue for me? Yes, I agree that all of the authors under your label have creative freedom. I think that they should be allowed to write about whatever they want. But this... Don't you think this, gets into the category of libel? I know a lawyer from Liyue who would be quite happy to offer her services to me pro bono. I don't think she knows very much about international law, but she'll find out. She will learn what kind of libel laws you have in Inazuma. Right, and lest you think that you're dealing with some kind of run-of-the-mill human lawyer, I would like to point out that she is an adeptus, much like your friend, Ganyu. Yae, I don't think anybody who reads this book, everybody who is buying this book, thinks it's about me. Because I happen to be a very memorable individual, and This book is about a blonde-haired traveler, male, braided hair, exotic clothes. Yes, and he goes around the 7 nations of Tevat, breaking hearts. Yes, well, you can imagine that I would have some issues with this, right? Right. I've already heard it said in the streets of Inazuma City. Oh, there goes that heartbreaking traveler. I hear he's a flirt. I'm not even repeating the worst of what I've heard, because, let me remind you, I am in the presence of a holy woman, and the contents of this book are, shall we say, not suitable for children. They're not suitable for work. They're very inappropriate. I would not read this in front of Paimon. I would not read this in front of my little sister. I would not read this in front of any of the men featured in it, who, might I add, are very recognizable. Yae, how many red-headed bartenders are in Mondstadt? How many Fatui Harbingers have hydro and electro powers? How many half Mondstadtian, half Inazuman housekeepers to the Yashiro Commission exist in Inazuma, That's right, it's just the one. Just the one. And I'm assuming he's already read this. Yes, because he happens to be a fan of your label's books, and, this is the current top seller. I mean, I assume the Kamisatos have both read this by now. Ayaka and Ayato have both read this by now. Do you understand that I'm going to have to go through quite a lot of explaining to convince people that the events in this book are fictional? Because they're very realistically described. So, Yae? Despite everything, you and I are quite good friends, yes? Yes, I thought so. I knew you would agree with me. This book is the current bestseller. It would be a shame to have to end the series. It would. It really would. But I also know that you don't like to take a financial hit. It would be a shame to have to entertain a lawsuit in the courts of Inazuma. And you know how A is. You know how the Raiden Shogun is. They would administer this trial fairly, and I'm very certain that my half-adeptus lawyer from Liyue, my friend, would win this case. The libel is there. The damages to my reputation are there. I can think of several financial damages that this would pose to me as an adventurer who regularly obtains commissions. Yes, you understand. So, I'm willing to cut you a deal. You can continue publishing this series. Using this character who is undoubtedly me. I'll let you keep doing this, but on one condition. One condition. Here's the thing. I need you to make this more outlandish. Yeah, I need you to make it worse. I've read the book. 3 guys per nation, let's say. I need you to make it 4. Make it 5. Just start inventing people. They don't have to be based on anybody. You don't have to write about the cavalry captain, although you already did. But, right, just start inventing people. Just make them up. Handsome men must exist in every corner of Tivat, just the same as beautiful women. And so, you've caught on. I knew you would. You see my plan now. If there are just so many ridiculous things happening in this book that nobody believes it's true, nobody has to find out that most of it is true. Well, alright, I'll tell you the truth. But only because I respect you. The real number is much lower. Right, it's closer to about 2. I don't think I have more than 2 relationships in each city. The more schedules you're trying to juggle, the more ridiculous it all gets, so it's easier to just pick, 1 or 2 people you can ask for favors and... Right. This way, we both win. I get to keep dating people on the down low, and you get to keep publishing your book. I knew you would understand. I respect you greatly, Miko, I really do. So, you'll tell your ghostwriter the next steps for this series, and I will be on my lovely little way. Yes. It was such a pleasure having tea with you today, Yae Miko. Of course. I wish you every success in the journey ahead. I'm glad we understand each other. Of course. The tea was wonderful, by the way. Thank you.